Members of this team played here in last year's decider against Wexford. Two of the newcomers likely to catch the eye are wing forward Ray Sampson, who actually went to school in St Flannan's in Ennis and captained the college team to All-Ireland honours 2 years ago. And new full forward Pat McCarthy, this year stepping into the shoes of Joe McKenna. Full forward is still a problem for Clare hurlers, minus Ger McInerney to injury. There's a recall today for 29-year-old Pat Murray of 6 Mile Bridge. Indeed, he's the only change from the team that knocked out Galway in the semi-final. Linking their last league victory 7 years ago are 4 survivors: Johnny Callanan, Sean Heher, Ger Loughnane, and the captain, then as now, wing-back Sean Stack. But the real man of the moment in Thurles is Clare coach Eamon Cregan, better known up to now as a Limerick forward. It's his first season as coach to the Bannermen. Mind you, on Wednesday he'll be coaching Limerick's under-21s in the Munster Championship against, yes, Clare in Ennis. And there's Noel Drumgoole in his second spell as Limerick manager, hoping to emulate his feats back in 80 and 81 when he led Limerick to Munster Championship victories. And that's an indication of the strength of the breeze, and it's favouring Clare in the first half. The referee is John Moore of Waterford, the man who handled last year's Munster final. So the 54th National Hurling League final gets underway, the first ever between these Shannon side rivals. And it's Limerick playing into the goal on our right. Well, tigerish activity so far. Declan Coote sideline puck. Clare going into this final unbeaten in the league, promoted from Division 2 and looking for a 4th league title. Coote once again. Ger Loughnane, half blocked down by Brian Carroll. Here's Mossie Carroll, hooked by James Shanahan, but away by Liam O'Donoghue. You can see that the breeze is already holding up many of the clearances. Pat McCarthy, and here's Shane Fitzgibbon, the Adair man, playing in the left corner for Limerick, opening the score. Nearly 3 minutes gone in the first half, and that's the first point by Shane Fitzgibbon, who only made his debut on the Limerick side against Wexford in February. James Shanahan there, and the referee awarding a free into Clare for a bit of over-aggressive play by Foley. So it'll be Cyril Lyons who leads the point-scoring table in the National Hurling League, attempting to put Clare level and succeeding. Aided and abetted by the breeze, no doubt. Declan Coote and Brian Carroll. Comes down to Brian Carroll. Knocked away by Alan Cunningham for Clare. And Sil Dolan unable to keep it from going out over the sideline. But the referee decided that Pat Herbert had fouled Sil Dolan, so he's awarded a free into Clare. Cyril Lyons, and that's his second point inside a minute, and it puts Clare in front, and the supporters from the Banner County can cheer right now. Ollie O'Connor, Jimmy Carroll towards Ray Sampson. He had a terrific match against Offaly. Held that time by Ger Loughnane. So a free into Limerick. And the applause you can hear at the other end is because Leonard has recovered from injury, sufficiently at least to play on, although he's still receiving some attention. Meanwhile, back with play, a free to Paddy Kelly. He's the one forward that Clare are particularly worried about. And that's one of the reasons why. Deadly in situations like that. And tying up the score after 8 minutes. Dennis Corrie, the Clare goalkeeper. Aiming it down towards Johnny Calnan. 2 Limerick players went for the one ball. Swept away by Brian Carroll. Away to the far corner towards Ollie O'Connor. Here's Jimmy Carroll. Low in towards Shane Fitzgibbon. That's sensible when you're playing into the teeth of a gale. Dennis Corrie in some difficulty, recovering well. John Minogue here, the right corner back in real trouble. Pat McCarthy back to Ollie O'Connor. The shot from O'Connor saved by Dennis Corrie, and it's there, it's in the back of the net. Shane Fitzgibbon right on the spot. A real body boat to Clare. The Limerick supporters can celebrate. Well, what an incident that was as it came across from the right. The goalkeeper was most unlucky. It came down from his stick and Shane Fitzgibbon was there to touch it into the goal. So against the breeze, Limerick have taken the lead again. A real rip-roaring contest this. Pat Morey cutting the deficit back to 2 points. Morey's opening score of the match, and that's after 10 minutes. Well, Clare really must amass quite a sizable half-time total, with the breeze very much in their favour. Pat Morey trying to hook it to his left, unable to do so. Paudie Fitzmaurice getting it out towards Liam O'Donoghue. Ray Sampson is under it. Ger Loughnane there. And the referee decides that the shoulder was unfair and awards a free to Clare. Ger Loughnane taking the free, dropping it right down into the parallelogram. The sun and the breeze now into the eyes of the Limerick defenders as we watch Michael Guilfoyle try to go through. Good stop on the line by Tommy Quaid. That was an excellent save. It'll be a 65, but terrific reflexes. Michael Guilfoyle was in a perfect position. He played it down to Quaid's right, and Quaid was equal to it. Liam O'Donoghue cutting in from the left. Tommy Keane out towards Sean Stack, who wasn't expecting the pass. Brian Carroll, first time hurling from Limerick. And again it's knocked down dangerously to Pat McCarthy. Goal! Pat McCarthy, the man who's got the goal touch, started brilliantly in the league last October, and that latest goal coming from the long sideline cut from Liam O'Donoghue, knocked down to Pat McCarthy, and he really finished with excellent ease. Ray Sampson, crossfield pass towards Paddy Kelly. Sean Stack trying to get tight on Paddy Kelly. Once again aiming it in towards the 2 men up front. Pat McCarthy is one of that too. Oh, a good stop. Dennis Corrie did well, and he smothered the follow-up effort by Shane Fitzgibbon well. Mossie Carroll here, they're keeping up the pressure. Ollie O'Connor. Danny Kelly. Here's Danny Fitzgerald. Right on the sideline. And that one goes out to the right and wide. But it might be worth taking a look again at that effort just a moment ago. A brilliant shot by Pat McCarthy, excellently saved by Dennis Corrie, and he followed up splendidly to block down the next effort by Shane Fitzgibbon. Good goalkeeping. Limerick, of course, it should be remembered, playing in their 3rd successive league final. And this is a very young Clare team, really. So the nerves of the first half, quite understandable. Tommy Keane leaving it behind him. Paddy Kelly towards Ollie O'Connor. Sean Stack keeping a cool head. He's an excellent player. Towards Sil Dolan. It runs loose. Here's Leonard Enrigh, fully recovered from the injury of the first half. So that kind of clearance obviously instilling the confidence in the Limerick team, and it spreads right through the full 15. Here's Ollie O'Connor, Sean Stack towards Michael Guilfoyle, Mossie Carroll, Ray Sampson here and Gerlach Nan. And the sideline ball will be to Clare. John Minogue. Mossie Carroll lets it go through his hand. Brian Carroll back there to help towards Danny Fitzgerald. Mick Maher gets it away for Clare. Here's Danny Fitzgerald, enjoying a lot of possession on the 40. Jimmy Carroll rifling it through towards Pat McCarthy. And there's a big gap between Pat McCarthy and the other forwards, but he doesn't need support, he goes it alone. The man who scored one of Limerick's 2 goals gets the latest point 22 minutes into the first half. Declan Coote trying to establish himself at midfield, down towards Johnny Calnan, who's got into the full forward line, trying to add an extra bit of bite up there. And it's Leonard Enrigh who completes the clearance. Jimmy Carroll running to pick up the loose ball. Paddy Kelly, in fact. Tommy Keane and John Minogue. Cyril Lyons. Sil Dolan. And Dolan gets another point for Clare. They need a lot of those with just 3 minutes to go to the half-time break. It's 2-3 for Limerick. Clare 5 points. Now the Clare supporters getting behind their team, but have they left it a bit late? Certainly for the first half that would appear to be the case. Declan Coote poised but beaten by Brian Carroll in the air. Ray Sampson checking. Brian Carroll shouldered by Alan Cunningham as Gerlach Nan takes it away to James Shanahan. Now can Clare perhaps get a goal just before half-time? Leonard Enrigh gets in the way. Lovely sidestep by Leonard Enrigh. Mossie Carroll, just enough length to get it as far as Brian Carroll. The referee allows a good advantage. Jimmy Carroll here. As all the Carrolls combine, Pat McCarthy storming in on Dennis Corrie. Corrie keeps a cool head, and that's a good intelligent ball, or is it? John Minogue just waited for a moment. There's Sean Stack towards Sil Dolan. It's excellent fare, really. James Shanahan, 45 metres out, towards Johnny Calnan. The angle was getting very tight, but he's got himself a 65. Now Calnan timed that very well. It was an interesting ball which went right across the parallelogram, and Johnny Calnan just couldn't quite make contact, but it went off a Limerick man. As the referee blows for half-time, a most interesting first half, full of good competitive hurling. 2 goals produced in that first 30 minutes. One of them was by Pat McCarthy, the Limerick full forward. The other by Shane Fitzgibbon after 10 minutes. And it's Limerick bidding to retain the league title, leading by 3 points at half-time. Half-time score, Limerick 2 goals and 3 points. Clare 6 points. So the second half gets underway, and Clare certainly have a lot to do. They've made one interesting switch in position insofar as Pat Morey here is now operating left half forward. Johnny Calnan has gone to top of the right. With the breeze favouring Limerick, 3 points in front, and Paddy Kelly gets his second point of the match to make it 4 points after 25 seconds of the second half. Plenty of Limerick flags there in the background, of course. This is the first really big match between these two counties of Thurles since the Munster final of '81, when you may recall Joe McKenna scoring 3 goals and 3 points. James Shanahan. And the man in the gap is Leonard Enrigh. Mossie Carroll. Lengthy clearance towards Pat McCarthy. Got it nicely out as far as Paddy Kelly. He so rarely misses those ones. He was slightly off balance, but he's still got it straight between the posts for his own third point. He's quite elated with that. Sampson with Limerick leading by 5 points. Declan Coote here putting some pressure on the Limerick defence towards Pat Morey. Paudie Fitzmaurice. Pat Morey again was the man who got it in, but Leonard Enrigh getting it out for Limerick. Foley sweeping it out this side towards Paddy Kelly. Here's Jimmy Carroll. Such a stylish and accomplished player. It goes over John Minogue's head to Pat McCarthy, round Sean Heher. Here's Pat McCarthy looking for his second goal. That's it. That's great full forward play. He's delighted with himself and he's every reason to be pleased. The long ball came from out the field. It went over the heads of the defence. Pat McCarthy got in behind Sean Heher and his finishing was deadly. Receiving just a blow to the hand as he was going through that time, but he's a courageous full forward. So now, what are Clare made of? What's their mettle? It will be sorely tested here. Ollie O'Connor. Dennis Corrie, and there are two players involved in a tussle here. Pat McCarthy is one of them. And this is quite ridiculous. It was an awful ball incident between Sean Heher and Pat McCarthy, and the referee is going to have to sort it out. In truth, it's the only bit of ugly play that we've had in a match which has been played most sportingly so far. So what will the referee do? I think he's decided that a simple admonition will do. And in fairness, let's hope that that will be the case. Now, goalkeeper Dennis Corrie has gone out. And it seems that somebody has been throwing perhaps stones at the goalkeeper, which is, again, very unfair. And the only player in space there was Sean Stack. Here's Ollie O'Connor. It's on for Shane Fitzgibbon. He's inside the defence, 20 metres out, and another point for Limerick. That's a goal and 2 points that Shane Fitzgibbon has scored for Limerick, and there are 12 minutes gone in the second half. And certainly the promise of the first half evaporating quickly. Limerick totally in control. Sean Stack. Danny Fitzgerald applying some pressure. Outnumbered 3-1, and it's still Danny Fitzgerald. Got away one-handed by Tony Nugent. There was a push, however, on James Shanahan, just inside the 65-metre line. That's a free to Clare. And Tony Nugent, the man from Tulla, looks at the sideline for instructions. I think he'll drop it into the square. Well, he decides to go for a point, and it's Clare's opening score of the second half. 7 points they've scored, Tony Nugent the latest scorer. Well, I wonder what Eamon Cregan and his fellow selectors there are thinking at this stage. Can they plan a strategy to bring the Bannermen back into this National League final? So Tommy Quaid's puck out here. Giving it plenty of height and distance with the breeze. Ollie O'Connor battling away in there towards Shane Fitzgibbon. The Clare defence seems to stand still for just a moment. Pat McCarthy, an effective shoulder on McMahon. Runs loose towards Paddy Kelly. Difficult angle for him, but another lovely point by Paddy Kelly. His fourth of the match. He rarely misses a chance like that. So the Limerick flags fly with their side now in front by 3 goals and a point. 3-8 to 7 points the score. Danny Fitzgerald thought about the quick pass, recovered fairly quickly. Jay Loughnane now operating on the left wing. Jimmy Carroll In towards Ray Sampson, who's been a real find this season, only 21 years of age. Plays, in fact, with the Limerick under-21s against Clare next Wednesday night. Ollie O'Connor dodging round defenders. And a sweet point by Ollie O'Connor. There'll be Limerick supporters who tell you he doesn't score often enough, but when he does, they're usually ones to remember. So everything really going Limerick's way. The clenched fist there for one of the selectors. Noel Drumgoole there in the centre of your picture. He must be a happy man. Some fierce hurling in there. Mossie Carroll coolly taking it out to Foley. He struck it sweetly. The race on here, Danny Fitzgerald, 3 Clare men after him. Just listen to the Limerick crowd. You can do things like that when your side is coursing away with the National League Championship. The salute to the crowd. Danny Fitzgerald realises that Limerick have this championship won. It's been a thoroughly unsatisfactory afternoon for Eamon Cregan and for Father Michael McNamara and Tim Crowe, but they've done well to take this Clare side this far. Jimmy Carroll raiding once more. A good shot from Jimmy Carroll and another lovely point. Limerick in full flight now. So John Moore, who's done a very good job in charge of this league final, throwing it between them. Here's Sean Stack, unquestionably the best of the Clare players on view today. Johnny Calnan trying to burrow his way through. Pat Lynch that time knocked away by Paudie Fitzmaurice, just far enough. Mossie Carroll. Well, it's become quite scrappy as Cyril Lyons looks for a consolation goal, and he gets it. The referee, however, is running in there, and he's having a word with the umpire, and he has disallowed the score. A smile on Tommy Quaid's face, a let-off. He wants to keep a clean sheet. He's succeeded in doing so far. Clare have only scored 1 point in this entire second half. Sean Stack, Jimmy Carroll closes in towards Cyril Lyons. Paudie Fitzmaurice waited, and 3 Limerick players going for it. It's Tony Nugent for Clare who gets it, however, and that's gone out over the sideline. It's going to be a Clare ball, as Alan Cunningham followed on there in a challenge with Liam O'Donoghue. The referee is having a word with Liam O'Donoghue. 2 minutes to go in what has turned out, in the second half at least, to be a most disappointing final. Cyril Lyons unceremoniously pushed down by Leonard Enrigh, and that will be a 20-metre free. At this stage, with the referee has awarded a penalty. Indeed, he's decided that that happened just inside the large parallelogram, so just 3 men on the goal. So Tommy Quaid, Pat Herbert and Leonard Enrigh wait as Clare bring up Cyril Lyons, the number 10, looking for another consolation score, gets the goal. He was disappointed a few minutes ago when a goal was turned down, but this time he puts a slightly better complexion on the score. A well-taken penalty. So it really is back to the drawing board for the Clare mentors here. Time almost up. Declan Coote picking up the loose ball, driving it forward forcefully. Leonard Enrigh is there, challenged by Cyril Lyons. But Enrigh has been a tower of strength at the heart of the Limerick defence this afternoon. As referee John Moore blows the final whistle and Brian Carroll raises his arms in delight. Limerick with a memorable performance, built on honest-to-goodness ground hurling, some terrific long shooting, great accuracy around goal, a 15-man performance. Eamon Cregan congratulates Noel Drumgoole. But the day belongs to Limerick as the champions retain the title in convincing fashion. dismissing the challenge of a gallant Clare team who couldn't quite fulfil their ambition.
Prestigious